But now we're about to get in for our first round here.
Let's go.
Fragadelphia. All gas, no brakes against Bears Babes, and it's going to be a big rush down mid, and there are players ready, and Jelen with 2 headshots, picking up a third, and Jelen just so quickly with the assist from Princey V. That's going to be an easy round win out for All Gas.
Honestly, after like the break we had to get into this, right? The first round just goes just like that. Like in a blink of an eye, we see an immediate win there by All Gas, no breaks. They get it done essentially flawlessly, or as much as they really needed to, and that's gonna get them a nice little extra round here. Looks like we might get a bit of a bye here from All Gas, no breaks. Of course, they want to push that advantage that they just won for themselves.
Of course, but now we have a bit of a pause going in right now. As what else would happen?
Right, one round at a time. I think by the end of the day, we might get this game done.
I think you're right, or at least the first half. But let's talk about the buys we're seeing from All Gas.
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing All Gas picking up a couple rifles here, and it looks like they're going to get a 3-rifle buy here with those M4s. So, I mean, that's really going to allow them just to play. They don't have to play that aggro game, right? They can take those ranged fights, and they don't have to push that advantage. They don't have to, because they know they're just facing off against pistols. This should be an easy round win for them.
One player with the MP9 holding by mid. They won't commit too long, but now it does seem to be at least one player is creeping up through ramp. But that won't be a major commitment. It's a big split that we have going on. The smoke is going to block off vision, so nothing crazy happening just yet. Just a little bit of poking and prodding, trying to see where the defenses are, but another smoke going to prevent anyone from making their way through soon.
Yep, and Twitchy's got a bunch of utilities and to be able to pepper down through that smoke here, and both teams just looking for an advantage. Oh, and that's going to be the first pick off there, as it looks like Bears Babes lose both David and now Ryuzuki. So that's a 5. Oh, and it's just going down one by one.
Oh.
And just being breeze by themselves. All Gas, no breaks does it once again. They lose just a single player, and not too much utility burned as well to be able to save a little bit of that going into the third round.
Yeah, just a nice 1D coming out from, I believe, Febreze before they're put on their behind quite quickly in response. But, they were just working with some Deagles, so not a great showing of Deagle Demons just yet.
Yep, and now we're seeing the Bears Babes buys come through. Alliteration right there. Full AK buys for them and a little bit of utility. Looks like you see David also has some flashes attacking right there. And Tolip, shots fired, not going to find Paydirt, going to rotate back over towards the right here. Meanwhile, Twitchy might be able to land with that frag, but unfortunately no Paydirt as well, as both teams taking it very slowly. Febreze has already been chipped down a little bit, as has Twitchy.
Bears backing off. They know there's some presence on mid, and Jelen is going to be the first one to take a peek, and they find one, and they can't get a second. Ryuzaki will be there to pick up the trade. However, Bear doesn't let that one last for too long. We do have one player hanging out on the B ramp, but this isn't a full commitment. It's just Nick Halden.
Yeah, and I mean, still when you have All Gas, no breaks with 2 rifles here, I mean, it's 2 AKs against 2 AKs. You do have the 3v2 or 3v3. I'm sorry, it's 2 AKs versus 3 AKs here. So this might actually be able to be won here by Bears Babes, but you have David so low, they really can't commit to any of these long-range gunfights, so it's effectively a 2-on-2 with those rifles. And you're going to have, though, a 3-on-2 now as you get that pick from Nick. Ooh. Nick gets a second one to make it a 3-on-1.
And Twitchy's all alone just with the MP9. They do have the opportunity to pick up another rifle and make some magic happen, but inspecting, they do manage to get one. A little bit of a braggadocious play, I'd say, trying to get the inspect. Managed to pick up one, but the trade is there, and Bears Babes picking up their first.
Yeah, and they're going to get, that done, but certainly not flawlessly, right? Like, they lost 3 players. They lost a bit of armor. They're going to have to rebuy a little bit of that Kevlar. But look at the utility for Bears Babes, right? I mean, they are stacked up. Aside from Nick, everyone's ready to go. They got mollies, flashes, and smokes, and they're going to immediately push in through ramp here, try and put some pressure, and keep All Gas, no breaks at bay.
Yeah, we do have All Gas. They were hanging out on mid, trying to get an initial peek to see who's coming through that direction, but at this point, it doesn't seem to be anybody. They're playing quite on a default, but Ryuzaki pulling up over onto A side. They take out 2. Twitchy's going to find one with a headshot onto Febreze, and they're trying to keep the enemies at bay. Twitchy by Tetris with the Deagle, still staying alive as Bear is able to support. We have another player, David, at ramp. pushing up a little bit, looking to get an angle. STX will make it a little bit easier for them as one player stuck in Tetris. The Molly's going to push him off of that position, jumping into Tetris. Nick Alden finds them, and now it's all up to Print TV to try and clutch out a 1v3 with the FAMAS and a bomb to defuse.
Yeah, this half buy, not having all full rifles here really hurting, but they're doing pretty solid for this round, but it will be an all gas, no breaks round as they pick that up. Their second round here with 3 players still on the board, but now that Bears Babes has taken that loss, they should be able to buy up a little bit. Actually, they're pretty low on cash. And they might go for a save round, I would have to assume here. Now that all gas, no breaks pick that up.
Had a bit of a Frankenstein buy where not all the players were able to, pick up a rifle. There was a Deagle, a FAMAS, an MP9, I believe, and now they're going to just try and run it down ramp and maybe catch all gas, no breaks off guard with a bit of aggression from the ramp, but I don't know if it will be met. A lot of players have made their way by mid and or B. But this smoke is going to prove the decider. We have David, spots him out, sending out some shots from the AK. They will be flashed, and David, the first one to fall from Bear. Fabrice holding it down with the Galil, finds 2 before they're taken down.
That was a huge trade there, and now you can see, of course, Bears Babes took a massive amount of hits there. Really, you just have the single rifle at almost full health, but not really. Twitchy has a rifle as well, has that AK, but such low health there. Not going to be able to do much with no utility. Really can't peek or jiggle much without forfeiting their entire life. There's some more shots from Nick, helps out for Breeze. They get traded though, still 2-on-2, and that bomb is going to go down with a little bit of extra cash to help out here. And now, time on their side to see if they can hold this site.
Here comes the retake, but it will be no retake at all. In a matter of nanoseconds, both the players from Bears Babes are taken out.
That is a nice win there by all gas, no breaks. Does it continue? Well, at least now they have establishment of the lead. And now they can play a little bit here. Look at that. They're fully buying out all rifles here. They have the AWP in the hands of David. First time we're seeing that come out here. And full utility across the board for all gas, no breaks.
Yeah, still a little bit weak on the side of Bears Babes. Some players not even able to afford a helmet, but they're standing in the fire. Twitchy taking some serious damage, but Fabrice somehow made it past the defenses. Look behind you, there's Tolip. He will be found. Fabrice manages to break through, but it will cost them 2 players. However, Fabrice through another smoke finds Twitchy, sending out a smoke of their own. Get that utility down to secure your site. However, this is going to be a rotate off.
Yeah, 3-on-2 situation. Fabrice very low here. And even STX has taken some shots as well. Has been chipped down. Meanwhile, both players of Bears Babes at full health here. They both have rifles, and you see Bear has utility to work with. So they can go for this push. You're going to see a Molly coming out there. And now here comes the bomb plant.
Now they're going to realize that it's a full commitment onto B. We do have one player on window just waiting to go for a drop. It's Prince TV. And they're going to be actually rushing through to try and take this back. They don't know around the corner. You got to check to your left. They will be taken down. It's all up to Print to find one. You can make this doable. There's a second one on the staircase. Tapping him down. They don't fully kill him. Nick Alden is just so low. There goes Print. And all gas, no breaks, lose their win streak. And finally back onto the board. It's Bears Babes.
That was a necessary win right there. And now it's going to force. All gas, no breaks. I don't think a forced buy would be the worst thing to do here. And it looks like we are going to be seeing a bunch of buys again. Some rifles come out, utility getting picked up here. But Bears Babes, nice plays. We're going to get the replay.
Yeah, walking through that Molly isn't going to be too solid. Taking out some serious damage, but Twitchy lived long enough to hide themselves and take out one of their enemies. And that would be crucial down the line because it gives Print a better opportunity to make that retake.
And all gas, no breaks did indeed go for that buy again. Got a bunch of AKs. They got a Gweel as well. Meanwhile, on the other side, Bears Babes, a couple FAMASes. They're not fully bought out here. They don't have full utility. They can't entirely play that range game. They might have to stick together a bit more. Possible boosts. There we go. There it comes. And meanwhile, both teams taking things very slowly now that it's tied up. And the money isn't exactly strong on either side.
This will be a big decider round to see who's going to have the advantage going forward. And we have Ryuzaki moving up through ramp with a teammate. They will have to check the boost. I think they're waiting. Yes, Fabrice spotted it out and removes Tolip from the round. And Twitchy always looking and expecting that rifle. It's going to bite them, as it does indeed. 2 players left on the CT side. And Jellin actually making things work from Team Flash from David is going to help put Ryuzaki in the dirt, sending over a rifle to their teammate. Jellin still holding on to Tetris, but the bomb has been planted. STX going in for a big flank, and they're going to find one, maybe. No! They can't get it. The spray's bad. Jellin, he has the opportunity because both of the enemies are beaten down. Jumping around the corner, going for the fake, but they aren't going to be quick enough. David there with the swing and the headshot.
Yeah, very well done by All Gas No Breaks. Last 2 players taking 2 50-50 angles there. You can't cover both at the same time. Even though they were low, you have to commit, and once you start to take that 1v1, the other player's immediately going to swing out. So you have to have that speed behind you, and unfortunately it wasn't there. 4-3 now for All Gas No Breaks. I'm so glad we're finally getting into this map, and both teams are neck and neck right now, which you love to see. I mean, early in these tournaments, you might expect a stomp, but not here at Fragadelphia.
Oh, here comes the potential Deagle Demon Bear swinging out, trying to get him behind that generator, but it won't be good. STX thought they could pistol him, but they thought wrong as Bear manages to secure a rifle. They called in, finding 2 over onto B. And they aren't going to be too aggressive and risk losing another AK, but still they have a great opportunity, or at least they did, with Bear on the flank. However, all up, Saprin back at it with the Deagle in a solo 1v4.
Yeah, this is, I mean, there's no even real reason to save, of course, so now you're just trying to do as much economic damage as you can. All Gas No Breaks. Here comes the swing out, and there's no way you're going to win that. Febreze immediately knocks his head off. And doing so, they get that win, only losing STX. So money-wise, they're doing pretty solid now. You can see Nick still at $3,000 here after that buy. So they're looking good economically, and we're going to see how Bears Babes respond to this, because they don't want to be continually playing that, all right, we got to save like every other round game. That's how you start to see the map kind of fall away from you.
But let's see what they could do in their attempt to get a handle back onto this map. Send some mollies out. It's Bears Babes preventing any push, but now we actually have one of the players moving in, getting down onto the B staircase, and this might be a big surprise if All Gas No Breaks continues to commit here.
And Prin's already down. Nick super low and takes that fight and loses it. 4-4, but Bear also doesn't get out without taking a little bit of damage. Already below half health. Still has a little bit of utility to work with. Has a flash and a smoke, I believe. And with that, you're going to see a little bit of jiggle, and that's going to be Jellin going down. 4-on-3 situation as both teams continue to pick and prod at one another.
Oh, Bear just didn't know where the enemies were coming from, trying to hide behind that beam, but they couldn't hide for long, as this bomb will go down. Bears Babes looking for that retake if they can actually manage to get around this corner. Ryuzaki holding it, but the angle won't be good. Twitchy, the first one to open this retake up and potentially move forward. They have to clear those angles. There's plenty of angles to clear at this moment in time. If they can do it, they work together, they might be able to make it happen. Some damage going on to their counterpart, but Ryuzaki and Febreze from the off angles gonna say no, as All Gas No Breaks continues their run.
Yeah, really well done there by Ryuzaki. That lurk, no one was paying attention to it because you had the 2 angles you already had to take on the site with those 2 players who were already there. Febreze leading the way, but Ryuzaki very easily sneaking in from behind, forcing that 50-50, and that allows for the site tape.
Yeah, and we're found on another eco round here for Bears Babes. The Deagles are out, but Bear might be taken down quickly. I'm not sure where that even came from, but we do have a solid default. Yeah, we have more players hanging out on the ramp. This is kind of their MO in terms of eco.
Yeah, I mean, the ramp area allows them to kind of hold that really sharp angle with the Deagles and poke out, but, you know, they don't have to fight that, right? Like, All Gas No Breaks and let the fight come to them. And not a bad win there. Ryuzaki goes down. STX, though, returning the favor with another pickoff, but then STX goes down themselves. So even though All Gas No Breaks have a ton of money on their side, now they're forced to rebuy a little bit going to the next round. Another pickoff here, and now it's 2v2.
Ooh, Nick Halden holding that angle strong. We have Jellin here on the flank going on to the B staircase, but David is right there waiting for him. If the 1D can be good, it won't be, though, as Jellin falls, and All Gas continues their momentum here.
Still not a terrible round there from Bears Babes, right? They took out 3 of the players. forcing All Gas No Brakes to rebuy on their rifles, at least for 3 of the 5 players. But the money is so in favor of All Gas No Brakes. I'm sure they're not even worrying about it. They can rebuy their rifles immediately. You see David back on the AWP. So this is an opportunity to really shut things down. Because again, Bears Babes, they're going for another full buy. They have an AWP on their side as well.
Ooh. The AWP is missed. Tulip takes a ton of damage. Twitchy moving through that smoke, just trying to make some magic happen for Breeze. Hanging out in the corner. They're on opposite angles. I'm sure they know of each other's position, but won't be making any harsh commitments here. Twitchy sending out another smoke. There's going to be a potential push, but I don't think they're counting on it. They're going to have to back off for now.
Yep, still holding on to that 4v4 here. And you can see how spread out everybody is. A really nice hold here by Bears Babes, a full spread out towards, a 4 arc, right? And you can see on the other side, All Gas No Brakes, mostly clumped up together. I mean, neither team really wants to get caught out with a pick, because essentially once that pick happens, either team's going to start to rush to a site, right? Once they get that 4-on-3. And now that the AWP has been really reduced to almost nothing for Tulip, it might be less of something you have to worry about on the side of All Gas No Brakes.
Yeah, looking at a glass cannon at this point, but I mean, it only takes one shot, one quick reaction with that AWP, and it could be a game changer. 2 mollies being sent out, but it will be Prin finding one before they can assume full site control. Bear unable to keep him back. Tulip with the AWP though. He's making some damage, but Tulip does in fact go down. Twitchy on the flank. They can make this happen. Might be able to find one, but the headshot isn't there. The plant will be going down. And this is going to be very difficult in this 1v2, but no, David on the AWP. It's not going to happen.
You don't have the high ground, Anakin, and you're not going to win that one after a 45-minute lava fight. But yeah, that's a rough loss there, because again, Bears Babes once again on the eco. I mean, they bought that AWP, and that put Tulip to $50. They needed to win that round. They've dropped so many useful rifles, so many good guns, because they're really trying to go all out every other round, and they're not taking those key rounds after the eco, and that AWP really has set them back.
Yeah, good performance on eco rounds isn't going to be enough to ensure success on a buy. Nick Halden creeping around the smoke. It's going to be Brent shooting through, finding some damage, tagging him up, and now it's going to be a full-on rush. Jelen pushing through the smoke like a smoke criminal and picks up the trade. Yeah, that's huge. I mean, the Tech 9 are going to allow you to spray and pray right there, and that's exactly what Bears Babes needs. They got to be able to stay mobile here with just pistols and the Tech 9, and because of that, Jelen's able to pick up the AK and be able to move and be a little more useful here, but now it's a 4-on-2 situation. Separated here with Jelen low on health. They really got to get a pick up here, and they go down, or at least it's going to be Tulip going down. So now it's a 4-on-1 situation with a half-health rifle. Yeah, Jelen is not in a good time right now, or a good scenario. Finds one on Uzaki, though. Not bad. Always good to try and dwindle the economy of your opponents. But at this point, it looks like it'll be a save, and that's a good spot to do it. You know, you don't have a lot of money. Better to run with that AK. No, I definitely agree. I mean, this is a team that, like you said, has been eco almost every other round. You got to be able to save a rifle when you can here. And more importantly, I mean, Jelen, I believe, is top fragging for this squad right here. Certainly a player that they're going to be able to rely on through these rounds, but this is now starting to run away from Bears Babes. They're now down 6 rounds in a row. David's able to hold on to that AWP, has full utility. They might even buy a second AWP. They probably couldn't get away with it, but they're likely just going to go with the 1 AWP, 4 rifle setup, which has been working for them so far. They really haven't had to worry at all about losing their AWP here. Meanwhile, another AWP again bought by Tulip, so they have $0. If they lose that, they're going to be set back again. They continue to do this. I mean, this is a all or nothing opportunity. Ooh, David just sending one through the smoke, hoping to make something happen. But Twitchy hanging on the other side of that will be able to take out an enemy. It's going to be Ryuzaki. David hanging out with the AWP. They are looking for any sort of pick at this point. STX making their way through mid, but it's going to be found by Bear. Nice they are holding on right now in this round, looking good. Yeah, that's pretty huge. They haven't been able to take out David yet, who still has the AWP, so that's still a way for All Gas No Brakes to get back into this. But so far, a really solid round here by Bears Babes. They still have the AWP on their side. They just don't have map control. It's the one thing they haven't been able to secure so far, and we're seeing a slow but sure positional move here from Nick against 2 players who might not be ready. Gets 1 kick at the second. Yeah, David looking to follow up, has the AWP. Spotted him out, but the shot is missed, and Bear takes him down. That was huge. Bear picking that up, and they keep the AWP. They don't have to rebuy there. That was an absolutely critical round to keep Bears Babes in this. Yeah, finally, Bears Babes can turn it around, or at least they have the opportunity to do so. And it's very critical that Tulip keeps that up. If they lose that up, it's a bad time. It's a bad time.
You can't be losing that, and especially considering that Tulip is buying the op over and over again. That's almost a player you kind of want to try to find as early as possible for All Gas, No Brakes, who David's been on that op so far, performing pretty well there. And money-wise, they're still doing great, even if they lose this next round. David, though, gets that first pick, takes out Twitchy to make it a 5-on-4.
No, what are you doing there? Okay, all right, good. They got close enough to pick up the double, taking the op from play. I thought we were about to see a little bit of bravado with the knife. Thankfully, that wasn't the case, but all the while, Ryuzaki's found themselves onto the site,
huge pick.
taking down Tulip. That's going to be the op you so desperately needed, but Ryuzaki's push ends there.
That was, I mean, you have like the silent footsteps perk for this guy, right? I mean, he's been able to lurk around by themselves and really a one-man army on those lurks. Ryuzaki's been a huge player for All Gas No Brakes so far, but you have STX and Nick still hanging out here against Bear and Jellin. You have no ops in the field, just rifles until STX finding Jellin, making it a 2-on-1. And now Bear might be able to jiggle, gets the pick, and now a 1v1 through the smoke. Maybe able to blind fire through it, can't find, but does tag Nick. And now they have a slight advantage here.
Okay, sending out a smoke and a block off Scaffold. He's dropping down. That's going to be
that.
The noise made. No! They can't make the spray down. Bear did so much work in these recent rounds, so much to take out their enemies, but aren't able to clutch it out. And now we're in the final round of the first half.
I think that drop down might have been it, right? Like that's immediately the cue to, all right, I don't have to check the two angles behind me now. I know it's going to be coming from the right. And around Tetris, they have the perfect look. And now it's a 10-4 lead for All Gas No Brakes. They aren't going to buy the op here. They aren't completely full on money. You can see only a few players in the quadruple digits. And as a result, they don't have an op to take on Tolov, who gets that first kill on Febreze.
That's what they've been waiting for, a good opener with the op. And Ryuzaki waiting out the molly, jumping up. And will make a little bit of noise that might alert the enemy squad of Bears Babes. They're going to be ready for it. They have two players over there.
And this should be a pickoff here by Ryuzaki. That's going to be a trade out here. That's huge. A 4-on-2 situation here. They still have the op in play. I mean, All Gas No Brakes here at this point. I think it's worth the save.
Well, no, I mean,
I'm
not here. It's the final round of that.
I mean, I guess. Oh yeah, it's the final round. Yeah, but I guess we could go for it. And they do. And they do.
David has no choice but to make a move, sending out the smoke. Hoping to pick out somebody, but there's three players ready to swing on you. Finds one. Turns into a 1-3-2, but no. Bears Babes
See, they should have saved, man.
They should have saved. Yeah, the result was going to be the same, Dak.
It was going to be the same. All right, 10-5 going into halftime. That's not bad at all. Bears Babes keeping it relatively close, right? It's you can see them popping off. It is their map pick. No, this has been great. I mean, as things started to get away from them towards halftime, they did bring things a bit closer, making it 10-5 here, and now we're going to get the map swap.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how All Gas No Brakes, with their All Gas No Brakes momentum of attack, how are they going to be able to hold it down on the defense? And I think Bears Babes, what can they do on the offense? Blocked up on a Saturday morning. Let's see if Twitchy can follow up on that first pick on the Ryuzaki. The dualies are out, but David can't find anything with those. It's double dose of death for him. STX hanging out on Tetris, and they're actually going to have to be careful because there is some flank at work. Are they going to be quick enough? Bear with the first, and now following it up, it's Prin. It's STX looking to just try and stay alive, but the pinch is too good. Bears Babes kicking off the second half with a first round win.
I don't know if y'all can hear them, but we can certainly hear them. Almost every kill, the Bears Babe squad were popping off for almost every input on their keyboard, and that's the energy you have to have. Bears certainly popping off, got the first two kills that are really start and set the pace of that round. And that's allowed them to get a little bit of half by here. You're already seeing the rifles come out. You can have a little bit of extra subs as well. Of course, All Gas No Brakes trying to make it work with just the pistols.
We do have the MAC-10, as I like to call it, the Mac-Tizzle, out on Jellin. Puts some spray down onto David. That's a good amount of damage, but it won't be enough to take him down as they're running the corner from ramp. Just spotting out. There's a player by Tetris. Won't make a hard commitment there, but going through that smoke. It's going to be Febreze. However, Twitchy is making things happen over on ramp. It's not even giving Febreze enough time to react, but the quick swap out from Twitchy is real solid, but Nick Alden hanging out on mid. The last one alive on All Gas No Breaks manages to pick up an AK. That's actually the strongest weapon they're bringing out today. Finds one on that swing, but Tolip hanging out there with the Galil. Pick up the AK, Tolip!
That was a really good jump out of that corner too, forcing that arc spray, so it's almost impossible to get the immediate spray transfer onto the second player. So sometimes you don't want to be jumping, but that's one of the few times you want to get a little bit of a bunny hop going around when you want to peek. And now it's a 7-10 scoreline here. Bears Babes slowly but surely bringing this back.
We've been waiting for them to do just that. There goes Bear on the aggression, finding STX over by mid, and Tolip looking to get some more damage over into scaffolding as they're having a little scuffle with Ryuzaki back on the Deagle. And they're going for another save for this third round, and I guess they're going for a big buy come round 4, but let's see what Febreze can do with the Deagle. Oh, they're gonna take one to the dome, but still live to tell the tale, but not for long as the Kobe from Prin drops him. Moving around the corner, Bear does find another, and now Nicole and Ryuzaki are in a very tough position, but he's on site. Oh, that could have been bad, at least for the economy.
Yeah, great check there by Joe, and Ryuzaki now is, I mean, essentially hanging on by a thread here. Not going to be able to do much work against a bunch of rifles. 5 players here. That should be a very guaranteed round here for Bears Babes to make it 8-10, which earlier didn't seem like a possibility. The beginning of the game, a lot closer. As both teams started to get comfortable in that first half, you saw the lead kind of get spread out, and Ryuzaki might be able to get this kill. And oh no, can't finish! Bears Babes picks it up, and they keep 5 players alive in doing so.
That is unfortunate. You know, they weren't going to be able to come out on top with the round, but at least take one down with you at this point. Unfortunately, unable to do it. A nice turnaround coming out from Bears.
Now we got the full buy, all gas, no brakes, able to get full 5 rifles on deck. Meanwhile, Bears Babes, they got a little bit of a bonus round. They're going to hold on to that MAC-10 for Jellin as they continue through here. Up towards ramp, they are stacking it up and pushing up on the defense. Ryuzaki tries to hold them off and only gets 1. Jellin will trade it off 4-on-4. And a little bit of shields lost here for Bear and Jellin as they continue to push up this ramp. Another trade here, 3-on-3. Tola picks up 1. And now trying to back up here, David with that USP. Finally able to pick up a rifle here. The M4 might be able to give them a little bit more of a chance as this push continues onto the site.
They're swinging out from mid, finds their target. STX goes down, and now there's an additional pressure over onto all gas, no brakes. It's coming from either side, but Bear's gonna find their target. They only got one more. It's David holding it down over by scaffolding, but he knows where he is. You just gotta make the swing good, and Bear gets it done.
Bear is the clutcher right here, and now they are within 1. Bear is just popping off, right? You can hear the team popping off for themselves, and how could they not, right? How could they not? They brought this back. It was like 10-4 at one point, and now they're within 1. All gas, no brakes, have not picked up a round in quite a long time.
No, I mean, they're all brakes, no gas at this point in the second half. It's been Bears Babes taking it away, and Tolip in a bit of an open situation. They're fighting off 3 different players right now, but none of them can make the shots, make their marks hit, but neither can Tolip, and finally Ryuzaki puts him in the dirt.
That's huge, right? On this save round here, you're trying to stay economically positive, and as much work as you can get done with these pistols would be great. Ryuzaki already showing their worth right there as they might be even, I mean, if they can go and pick up that rifle too, and Bear also getting chunked down a little bit. Here comes Nick, swings out, gets a pickoff, almost gets the second, but can't confirm, and Bear will help clean things up to make it a 3-on-3.
5-7 was doing work right there, and so is all gas, no brakes. Bear getting caught out in the window, dropping down into their own teammates. Molly, a symbolic feeling of this squad potentially crashing and burning here in this attack. It's all up to Prin TV and Jellin. They have no sight lines on the enemies. They're not being able to make shots. Ryuzaki taking down Jellin, and Prin is all alone in a 1v3. They're taking the damage, but they can't take any shots against the enemy themselves, hiding behind the generator. Prin's got to make a move, and they've got to do it within a good amount of time because they're going to be collapsed on. But there's one against Ryuzaki, just 2 more to go. Styx is on death's door as well. They can find one shot on their enemies. That's all it's going to take for this round to be another clutch for Prin. We've seen it before. They're swinging out. Finds one. Overall getting Styx.
No way. No! Oh, that would have been absolutely crazy. Between a rock and a hard place, making it into a 1v1. I mean, even if you don't pick up that round, that's still such a huge win there. And really well done by Prin. But I mean, Ryuzaki getting that early pick off and able to pick up the rifle, that was the key moment of that round, allowing them to continue to snowball a little bit on kills.
Let's keep in mind, that was a save round for All Gas, No Breaks, too. Yep. What a huge round of how they made it such a competitive time. But, you know, there's still some money on the side of Bears Babes. They're not out of money just yet, but they are going to be out of lives in terms of Bear. Prin, however, with the trade onto Ryuzaki, 4v4 as they're making their way and ascending up to ramp. But the defense converging, trying to make sure nobody makes it past their sights.
Yeah, I mean, if All Gas, No Breaks are able to pick up this round win, it's going to force Bears Babes into an eco here. I mean, they're pretty low on cash. Jellen's the only one at 4 digits. They still hold on a Mac 10 for Tolip here, so like they really need this round, especially like you said, All Gas, No Breaks picked up that eco round win last time, and things have completely slowed down as a result. No one wants to be giving up position here, as another push towards A is going to be coming in from Bears Babes. Tolip's going to lead the way here, and you can see Febreze is on the other side, but we'll be able to catch this.
Oh, the swing is wide. It's good enough for Tolip to pick up 1. However, David won't allow 2 to advance from that position. STX on the other side. They're holding it down. It's 2v3, but it's all about trying to get around this corner, get around scaffolding. Tolip does manage to inch a bit further, and they might be able to surprise David.
And you can see, maybe if Jelen can try to get an angle here over towards Nick, but they're leaving. Oh, they don't say they're leaving Tolip by himself. But Tolip can get it done on their own. Picks up 1, slows Mac 10, might be able to pick up a little bit more, but they can't aggress on this corner. It's being held way too hard. Jelen, though, on the lurk and can't make it happen.
Jelen, that flank would have been crucial, but STX is not letting anyone pass their sights. They predicted the flank, took down Jelen, and continued to finish out the round for their squad.
All Gas, No Breaks now, finally pumping on the accelerator once again after dropping so many rounds in a row. That eco round win was so huge, they have to be feeling themselves after that. And now with a 12-9 scoreline that forces Bears Babes onto a save of their own here.
Here comes that Molly to stop Bears Babes from making a rush, but most of these players are heading through mid. With the Deagles out, hoping for some early action, hoping for those 1Ds. We do have David on the op, waiting, just wishing somebody pushes up ramps. Oh, a little bit of damage coming out with the Deagle from Bear, but it won't be enough. Tolip on the other side is going to get taken down. Bear finally picking up their first headshot, and now it's going to be a bit of an opportunity for them to make their way onto B, but the smokes are going to prevent them for the moment.
Yeah, no utility here for Bears Babes. They really got to just go in dry here. And with Bear already low, I mean, pretty much everyone has already lost their Kevlar here. Bear's super low. Prin going to try to back up Bear as they push up. And Bear going to put their body on the line for information, right? They really have no idea where All Gas, No Breaks are holding on the site. They might need to sacrifice someone. And Jelen goes down. Nick picking up 2. And STX cleans things up. All Gas, No Breaks making it 13-9 as they start to run away with this once again.
Yeah, this is about momentum. Both teams within this half have had a streak of wins to allow them to get forward and closer to that map point. And All Gas is now having their turn at the helm of this car, and they're starting to get away with it.
Yep, and David going to be able to buy that op that we've seen them work with pretty well so far. Bears Babes trying to figure out what they can do here. They have such little margin of error. They can't be giving up these rounds closer and closer towards the end of this game here, but they are going to put some rifles in their holsters here. Try to get a bit of utility. Tolip is just stocked up on utility here to go into this next round.
They are the backpack in terms of utility. It's quite weak in, oh, finally, actually, we're going to have a little bit more being put into the pockets of Bears Babes, but this is going to be a hard one to walk into. If they can manage to outsmart or out-aim David within this and take that op out of play, I think it's going to be a crucial factor if they get through. Molly negated by the smoke, and now they have a free entry into scaffolding, but it's not going to be as free as they'd like. David backing up onto Tetris. They're going to have that angle from the op and swinging out. It's Tolip, open it up, but Jelen is actually going to be the finisher. Ryuzaki by Sandbags will be taken down. One less angle covered, but they must know David is going to be hanging out by Tetris.
Febreze trying to jiggle, looking for some information on the site, doesn't get anything. David's still holding as well. And Bear's the only one who's taken any damage here. Oh, the great flash is going to cover them. But still, David finds pay dirt Twitchy will trade them off here, and there's another kill. Bear cleaning things up, 4-on-2 situation. Still 2 rifles here, still doable, but not until Bear finds another kill. STX goes down, now it's just a women of prayer. Nick by themselves on the 1v3, but we've seen these happen. Nick gets one, there's 2 more to go.
Going around that corner, he's gonna have to push Jelen and take him down, but that's actually Prin. And now it's all up to Tolip. Sending out the molly, clearing out sandbags. Can't imagine that there will be a second player hanging out by scaffolding. The smoke is there. It's going to give him an opportunity to try to defuse, but Tolip doesn't give him the chance.
Oh, wow. That was close, and Tolip, the patience, I mean, held that angle almost the entirety of that round. No one came through from above, but once people started to push on the high ground, he was in the perfect pivot position to hold towards sandbags. And that kill on Ryuzaki, who's been such a problem on the lurk, a great way to open things up for that round.
Absolutely. Finally, the momentum has been taken back by Bears Babes. Let's see what they could do with it, but they don't have the full money they were hoping for. Still just a deagle on Prin. Looking like they're going to be the guinea pig for information here.
Yeah, you got to do it. Someone's got to get that info at some point. Somehow, some way or another. You don't have a drone to send out, you know?
Nope. But you do have a Prin. They're hanging out by the scaffolding. The initial shots were trying to get a look at maybe anyone would react. Scatter the roaches, if you will. But Prin, he's actually just out of the sight line, but no, Fabrice is waiting. All the angles covered with that booster, pretty impressive. But on the other side of the map, it's going to be Nick opening things up and now turning their back to the enemies at the worst moment. Bear will fall as well. Twitchy and Jelen, the last ones in this fight, and I can't imagine it'll be for too long. But the flashes are on Nick. How many do you have in your arsenal? That would look like 5 of them, but STX and David still holding it down. Not a single casualty on the side of All Gas No Brakes.
That is just absolutely critical here for All Gas No Brakes, and a hard loss for Bears Babes, because now, I mean, they have no room here. I mean, I would love to see Jelen spray and pray and try to get a couple kills with his Tech 9, but if they can pull off an eco round win like All Gas No Brakes did, that's really the way they can get back into this. If they just lose here, they have one round on a bye round to keep themselves in this.
Now, there's Babes hanging out by mid. The molly's going to keep him off for a little bit, but there isn't any forward action on the term or on the side of All Gas No Brakes. They're hanging out one player by the window, waiting for someone to try and swing around, but Crosshair is definitely going to be trained toward the window. STX just with the Galil won't be able to get too much damage output, but it's going to be enough. Shooting through, that's going to be a wall bang. It's going to be a second wall bang, and it's going to be a third wall bang for STX.
That was devastating right there. The blood splattered against the concrete with those wall bangs. That was so huge. And now a 15-10 Bears Babes has to buy here. They got to use what they can. They have a little bit of a loss bonus to work with, but the rifles are going to come out a minute amount of utility against the staggering amount on the side of All Gas No Brakes.
Yeah, it is. Map point here. All Gas No Brakes. One more round will set them home, or at least set them one round apart from the rest of the squad. But David with the up, Fabrice with the follow-up. He's actually going to take out one of his own teammates. That up player was pretty crucial, but now we have Bear over on the other side of the map, going through mid. The information has been given. Going to drop down and sending the Glock down the tube, or down the hole, to try and confuse the enemies, make them think it's a rotation, but a rotation isn't there. Bear now making their way through mid, but the options are covered. They're cleared out, and one player, Ryuzaki, gets the swing onto Bear, and All Gas No Brakes take Vertigo. That's right, and I do believe the winner on this one will face off against Yenny Cherry later in the bracket.
Okay. And that, honestly, that's something I love to see, is when you see a team win on stream, you gotta get to follow their journey a little bit and see how far they can go and kind of watch them progress through the bracket on stream. I love to see that. So All Gas No Brakes, who's now on the blue side, by the way. We're starting things off with Bears Babes in the red. Yeah,
we have Nick hanging out by the ramp behind the box, just looking, and it does seem a few of these players will make their way through. And a little bit of shots going down on Nick, but Fabrice hanging on the other corner, going to find one. STX there for a bit more, and in a matter of seconds, Bear's the last one standing for their squad with just a Glock and some armor. The aggression from Fabrice is going to give him a flawless round.
All Gas No Brakes, getting it done. I think Nick was the only one who got chipped down there. Otherwise, almost no shots landing on All Gas No Brakes, and a great setup too. Bears Babes, they stack up, funnel in, towards the ramp, and then 2 angles you have to hold at a single time. Febreze in a perfect angle that doesn't get cleared. They get that first kill, then STX picks up 2, an immediate advantage for All Gas No Brakes.
That's right, and they will actually not opt for the M4. We're having an AUG on lock as well as a few MP9s. Will be interesting to see, but we do have some Tech 9s on the roster here that we've seen do some serious work, but hanging out on the hut, it's gonna be Nick picking up all the players trying to rush out of hut. Nick and Ryuzaki, I think Nick dropped his gun.
Oh.
Oh,
well,
no.
we're gonna have to swipe that credit card again a little bit. Getting some points, you know, getting a little additional points on the card, you know. 5% cash back, no big deal.
If only it worked that way here in CS, but Nick gonna have to spring for another MP9. I think I actually heard through the comms him say, "Oh no," right at the end.
Oh, we got the Tiger King AUG here. Love to see it. And you're gonna see this outside push, and that's immediately cut down. You know, David pushing in gets a first kill on Tulip. Prim's gonna trade. But then David finds another one, a 4-on-3. You see the dualies out as well. Twitchy finds another. And this is just through these smokes here outside the area here on the right. So slight advantage here now for All Gas No Brakes. They have a 3-on-2.
Yeah, Febreze out from that window, just shooting them down with the AUG. No problems here coming out for All Gas. No breaks. They do lose 2 SMGs. It's going to be no big deal as they're going to pick up some AKs for their troubles.
So I do think this was All Gas No Brakes map pick, I would think. You know, so far they are in complete control of this, and now Bears Babes should be able, okay, so yeah, other way. Bears Babes though, on this, again, another situation where they only have pistols. They have a couple, you know, have a Tech 9 here or 2 against these rifles in the AUG. I mean, this can be difficult.
Bear already burning to a crisp, only 34 HP with the Deagle. And just some hopes for a one-tap on an enemy, but they're pretty much stalled out here. They're unable to make their way through. Actually, one player does get through Squeaky. It's going to be Jelen dropping down into the vents, and that's a bit of a forward push. Do have SDX here in mini, just waiting for Prin to try and get that swing, but you're not going to be able to have an effective swing if you're just walking. You have 2 players waiting around the corner. If they're going to make their move, they got to do it now, but walking isn't going to get the job done, as SDX picks up 2, and David finding Twitchy, who did manage to try and get away, but one player actually, through Squeaky, might be able to work a good pinch, working in conjunction with Bear. It's actually Jelen taking him down with the Tech 9.
And this bomb still has to get picked up too, if they're even going to try to go for a plan here and try to get a little bit of money. But it's so out of the way that really no one can do so. And you can see Nick picking up Bear there to make a 3-on-1. Jelen is going to try to stay alive here as best they can with the Tech 9. Don't want to rebuy, even if it is a little bit, but again, against, you know, 3 players, one's the AUG. I mean, Febreze still holding on to this AUG and not having to buy another gun here. That is economically so amazing for All Gas No Brakes as they move on to the 5th round with a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, this is looking quite nice for All Gas No Brakes. They have just been able to dismantle any push out of Bears Babes, and we haven't seen Bears Babes getting themselves in a advantageous position at this point, but I think this might be the time. The util is here, the armor's here, the AK's here. What is Bears Babes going to be able to do on the outside? We have some smokes going through, but immediately STX finds a wall bang onto Bear's skull, and this push is going to be slowed down, but the smokes are down on the outside. One player hanging out in mini. I think they're actually just going to let him take Sneaky.
And I think that's worth it, especially after Tulip just goes down. No point in forcing this hard corner here. You're going to see now Prim going towards Garage. And this is going to be a bit difficult now that they're really separated. Still utility for Bears Babes, though. You're right, this is their map pick here. But they're taking this very slowly but surely, as All Gas No Brakes have not lost a player. They're still holding these angles. You can see Ryuzaki up here and upper, right above the plant site. But I mean, Bears Babes just refuses to move on here. They don't want to lose these rifles if they can afford it.
Well, use it or lose it. They're trying to push through, but David is just holding on to these angles. Jelen has no opportunity to make a move. They're stuck on the outside by the shipping containers. The rest of the squad, the last 2 players, are making their way through. It's Toxic and potentially get that bomb plant. Jelen has made their way away in hopes of rejoining their squad.
Twitchy and Prim still have a bit of utility to push up on here, but it's going to be really difficult to take these angles. Jelen finds one, but just as they do so, Twitchy gets another as well. The trades come through, but All Gas No Brakes, able to hold on to 3 players. clutching those rifles to the chest. That's going to be a 5-0 scoreline here. All gas, no brakes are just running through. You can see that loss bonus building here for Bears Babes. And really, they're going to need it now as they're going to go for a full buy.
Yeah, you can see that the last two players who got killed, they got a kill, swapped to the knife, immediately jumped away. And the first player to do it was found by, I'm not sure who the last player on the side of Bears Babes was, got caught out with the knife. The second that player got the kill, they brought out their knife and walked into two other enemies.
And Fabrice still has that AUG, but David will go down first. They're 3-3 and 2. Trades out Ryuzaki, but Prin finds him, makes it a 4-3. But Jelen also going down here. And Fabrice is super low. STX going to still hold outside mini. And you can see now Bears Babes after that play going to start to push back and try to reset the situation. As they still have some utility, they can go for an inner push here with Twitchy has so much to throw down and give them some coverage.
It's a good opportunity here for Bears Babes, but they are not going to rush anything. But it is quite favorable. Fabrice on death's door. And now one player, that being Fabrice, the damaged one behind those boxes, holding it with AUG. They're not going to make any moves. It's all about patience at this point. And even Tolip just hanging out, waiting for a potential push. And this is going to be what they're looking for. Fabrice trying to make it happen.
Oh,
Fabrice finds one, but it won't be both of them. The trade is there, but now it's a 2v2. No ground gained or lost, but actually Tolip running through, making their way over onto B-site. STX going from the lower by Toxic. Can open that door, swing out, spray into the smoke. It won't be enough. It actually is, and Tolip is taken down. The bomb has been planted, but Prin in a very difficult situation, having to cover all of those angles.
That said, though, I mean, they might be able to take a 1v1 potentially before both players start to get synced, trying to wallbang through the floor. The wallbang does not work, and STX picks it up. And that smoke grenade definitely kind of telegraphing the bomb plant there. You can just, I'm going to blind fire through this. Why else would this smoke be here on the site, right? So that's a little bit, I mean, you have to kind of cover yourself there. It's like, you know, you're screwed whether you do or you don't, you know? But a really solid separation there by all gas, no brakes. They're forcing that 50-50 that Prin has to take, and now is a 6-0 lead by all gas, no brakes. Now they're living up to their name here. They're like, all right, we're trying to get to the next round.
They're speed running.
They are speed running
on
yeah.
Nuke here.
The glitchless speed run.
100%.
Yes, they're going for 100% completion here too. They're trying to get all the missile expansions that they can. They have the Molly kind of cutting off a little bit of a push. Ryuzaki still holding that upper position. Tolip going outside. Otherwise, not going to find anybody here, so should be able to advance. But Mini, I believe, is still being held by STX. And it is.
Actually, it will be STX who's going to make the first incursion, but David actually doesn't even give him a chance to use that gun. With the op having a great shot, STX does manage to take out the player who was sitting on top of Mini, and now it's just Jelen hiding in Squeaky, waiting for their fate to converge on him. Just all the angles, uncoverable. Up from Hut, it's going to be Nick Halden.
Yeah, Bears Babes looking a bit lost here. All gas, no brakes, 7 rounds in a row. I mean, a lot of these rounds, Bears Babes is just like, they're losing a player early, right? Like, before they're really able to execute anywhere, they're losing a player in, like, a scramble shot through the smoke. They're getting headshotted, like, blind fired at. And as a result, they really can't execute because they're already a man down going into a lot of these fights. So all gas, no brakes, able to get this early pressure with these picks, and now a full stack on here on the save round, and it's going as you would expect. The slaughterhouse doors have opened up, and it is just Bear by themselves in a 5v1 that they cannot win. All gas, no brakes take another round to make it 8-0.
Yeah, and you often find Bear by themselves at the end of a round. I guess I'm not sure what their team structure is, but if they're the IGL, you'd kind of want a bit more proactive moves from them, or at least try and get some entry fragging, because we're finding them in the back line, always the last one to live, and then still unable to do anything, even like a final frag to just try and make the round worth it. But now we do have some buys in. We have the op back onto Tolip.
Yep.
Let's see if they can make some magic here. They're not going to follow that again.
Okay.
Pushing through Squeaky, but Nick Halden hanging out on top of the hut. Doesn't manage to pick up anyone, though. Bear sneaking potentially through into the vent. Bear actually takes out Ryuzaki, who is up in heaven. Now this is actually a potential move for them. They have almost cleared A site, but they're not going to go for it. They're opting instead for B.
Here comes this push here. Tolip going to be joining with this op here, and you can see like they want that buy so badly, and nice pick, wow, through the wall too. Knowing where to shoot, another shot down this time from David, picks one up, but Tulip returns the favor. And that op buy, one that they've relied on the previous map so much. I think this is the first op buy for Tulip, and it's paying off in dividends. The Og almost able to swing things back, but Jellin, the cleanup with the AK. Finally, Bears Babes on the board.
They do manage to get their first round. This is something they've been waiting for a long time. 9 rounds for, in fact, Dak, and we actually saw right at the last moments, Tulip ran into the final enemy with their knives out, being taken down in a bit of a panic there.
Still has the op, though. Gonna be able to go into this round with 1. Bear, completely bought out, 0 cash. So, I mean, even if Bears Babes gets this win, I mean, they still need to keep this going, right? If they lose here, they're gonna possibly have to save once again. So this is still a huge, huge mountain to climb here for Bears Babes.
Without a doubt, there goes Bear sending out the flash.
Okay.
But it's not good enough. Ryuzaki still holding on to Hut. And they're going to put out a smoke into Sneaky or Squeaky. No one's going to be able to make anything happen there. This is a while before we've seen them come back to try and take out Ramp. The missed shot from Tulip isn't going to be good for Breeze there. Taking out 1, taking out 2. Twitchy finally putting that one to rest. And Twitchy picking up a second. This is still a tough scenario for Bears Babes to try and make it through. Jellin there to pick up the trade and hopefully clear sight, but they won't make a commitment. Actually, I'm going to check behind them because Nick is there. He's going to find the head and take him down. The 1v1 with the last player, STX, still on site. Is this going to be a commitment onto B from Jellin? Actually, STX a little confused. Might opt to try and go back up to A site, or at least to wrap around, pass through double doors, get into control. And this might be a bad situation of timing for Jellin. Jellin's going to drop down. But you got to look behind you. You got to make sure that no one is there. He's looking at the double doors, but he actually just doesn't catch STX coming from that window, taking him down and bringing down the hopes of a second round.
Whew. That could have almost been enough. And, I mean, Bears Babes, they needed that round win there. I mean, desperately needed it. And now they're going to buy out again, but that's going to put them at such low money here. Prin will be able to buy again. Only one at quadruple digits, puts themselves down to 750 in cash. Otherwise, they have rifles to go. Prin's not going to buy. And you have the op here for David. No op for Bears Babes. Some shots getting down. Molly's cutting off loading zone here. But no one's outside, so this could be just a full push outside. The smoke's gonna come out. Finally, you're seeing the swings come out here from all gas, no brakes to try to head this off before it gets worse.
Prin pushing up. The smoke has dissipated, so they no longer have any cover. And there's one player backing off from Secret. It was David with the op. They're actually gonna wait to see if this smoke is gonna be good. And the players begin to flood over into Secret. Well, they got a surprise waiting for him. It's David on the op, but before they could even get there, STX hanging out, finds Jellin through the smoke, and Tulip on the other side finds their own target on top of Hut. And this is definitely an opportunity for them to try and explode onto site.
2 in a row there, by the way. After that initial kill, no information was given. He was able to slink away without being seen and picks up 2 additional kills right there. Absolutely crazy. And now Bear, like you said, by themselves, the last player once again, and really up a river without a paddle.
Yeah, and actually, there we go. A little bit of confidence instilled into this player, but they still have 3 more to take down, and that check is not going to be good. As Nick Alden swings away from Hut, takes him down, taking down another hope for Bears Babes. 10-1 right now, Dak. This is looking quite dire.
Absolutely is. Bears Babes trying to cash a check that they just, it's going to bounce back on them. And now at a 10-1 scoreline, they really can't let this get away from them any farther, but as they do so, Jellin on a Tech 9, trying to preserve a little bit of cash going into the next round if possible, but otherwise full rifle buys until they lose at least 1. David finds him on the up, and I believe Tulip even got stunned by their own teammate. Bear goes down, the Tech 9 finds 1, but it's just a slaughter. 2 more going down to make it a 3-on-1, and Twitchy can't even find their killer before they go down. It's going to be another round win, all gas, no brakes, up by 10, and just making this look already like a win in their favor.
Yeah, just 5 more rounds separating them from winning this series. All gas, no brakes isn't showing any signs of slowing down. They've got the utility, forced Bears Babes into another save. Another save, another time. They don't have the money to even try and compete. The utility isn't there. And they can't even hope to try and contest through Squeaky, as they're actually going to hold it back and hang out through lobby. But now Tolip looking to make this entrance by ramp. If they can get that initial pick, well, it would be good to take down Ryuzaki. But you got another player hanging out on the stacks. Not even going to take out one. Ryuzaki taking out two. But now Febreze chilling on the boxes. The trigger discipline is there. Takes down the AK and finishes off with Twitchy. Another round for All Gas, No Breaks.
And I'm honestly surprised that Jelen didn't really lead the way there. Jelen had the one hero rifle on that buy, but you didn't see Jelen enter that area until 3 players of their team had already gone down. As much as you don't want to lose that rifle early, you can't enter the site with just pistols and leave your rifle behind there. On a round like that, you really got to get those kills early, and now they're kind of set back. I mean, Jelen's low on cash. They go for a full buy here. Tolip does have the op, but this could essentially, kind of set the pace or really decide the series here.
Oh, actually a pretty sick smoke coming out by David to jump on.
Not sick enough, though.
Op opener through the smoke with the flash. They pick up another, but Tolip finally deciding to answer back against that controlling op. But is it even going to be enough? They've already lost so much.
Yeah, this is, like you said, looking like dire docks out here. Tolip's still alive, but that essentially means you just have one rifle to be able to lurk around here and try to pick up kills. You can't really rely on Tolip to take on one-on-ones entirely unless they're hitting their shots perfectly. It's really going to come down to Bear to try and open things up. Ryuzaki's still alive. STX has been the king of mini this entire map. Another kill. And now it's just Tolip by themselves. The moment that All Gas No Breaks figure out where he is, they're going to be able to converge on his area with 4 rifles to spare.
You know, as nice as the op is, it isn't going to be enough to take a site by yourself.
Yep.
And they couldn't even take that 1v1 down in the tunnels. Losing that op again is going to be critical to the economy. They only got 1 round left in this half. And yeah, look at let's just talk about the difference in money. You want to know how much money All Gas No Breaks has? Take a look at that massive spending.
They're just flexing right now. They're trying to show off all the ice they got. And I don't blame them. I really don't. All Gas No Breaks have completely turned this around, looking like a completely different team. And even though Bears Babes have been trying to be a little more economically feasible, they're losing the gunfights. And that's what's going to decide a game.
Yeah, you could have all the money in the world, but if the rifles you buy with it aren't going to make their shot, then what's the point?
Things have slowed down here. Bear looks like, again, kind of by themselves. I mean, this has been kind of the tail of the tape right here, where Bear's trying to get things done as a one-man army, but we'd like to see them maybe kind of coalescing with the team a bit more often. Here come those smokes to open up the outer push here for Bears. Oh, yeah, but the Bears Babes can't get through, as they're just going to spray and pray through the smoke. It's telegraphed their push, and it gets called out. Bear does find one, but Nick puts him down immediately. It's a 4-on-2 situation, but Twitchy and Prim, they've been the 2 players that have been able to change the tide of these matches and change the tide of these clutches. Could make a 2v4 into a 2v2 or more.
They're going to get the bomb or try to get the bomb down, but it's Febreze on the rafters, taking down both. They didn't even have a chance to shoot back at them in the first half. All Gas No Breaks, 14-1. This is a very different story than what we saw on Vertigo.
That is an understatement, my friend. I mean, Bears Babes got on the board once, and that was it. That's all they were able to manage here. And now All Gas No Breaks are going to give their attempt. They just need 2-round wins to take not only the map, but the series, and advance farther here at Fragadelphia.
Yeah, and by the way things are looking, it's in all likelihood that will be the case. But anything can happen here at Fragadelphia.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And we're seeing All Gas No Breaks jump down onto Mini and look to swoop around and get on a flank against the players from Bears. But Bear takes down their own teammate in a team kill, and that is just not how you'd want to start out the pistol. And it doesn't make anything better considering All Gas No Breaks is just on a tear.
Twitchy and Jelen, a Women of Prayer, and a couple of USPs. That's all they've got to work with. Febreze also, yeah, I was going to say, might be able to get one and does. Puts a slug in their skull, and then David cleans it up. All Gas No Breaks now on map and series point here to move forward in this bracket, all they need to do is take one more round, and you can already see the buys coming out. Ryuzaki, Febreze, everyone else, they're buying rifles, they're buying out, they're trying to end this one right now.
Yeah, you know, you can't even give Bears Babes a chance to recover. Just Scouts, Novas, and a Deagle, and I guess a Dream. All you can hope for if you're Bears Babes, that's all you've got. Even busting out the Negev with Ryuzaki. They're looking to make an impression here on this final round, potentially going through with a flank. And actually, a lot of the players were waiting in lobby. Ryuzaki finding one, getting him down with the Negev. And now they are just going to be trapped like rats in a cage. It's all but over here for Bears Babes in the upper bracket, but two players still holding on to their lives. They're gonna back out from spawn and look to have that a reset, a default retake, and hold on to heaven with their Deagles.
Yep. Oh, and STX will find one more with the help of that flash. There goes the molly to get him out. And as the bomb goes down, this might be it. Friend by themselves in a 5-on-1. Got Bears, Babes, Battlestar Galactica, and a 2-0 win for all gas. No breaks. They are your first victors here at Fragadelphia, and they are feeling it as they take that 2-0 series win.
Absolutely. They took that